This is Newcap News with Mike Baden.
Good evening. The Lashburn Community Hall was jam-packed last night as the Scott Woods Band was in town to show off their fiddle skills. The show was put on to honor the pioneers of fiddling in Canada. Every year, Scott Woods and company travel across the nation to put on over 150 concerts, raising money for charities and churches. And every year, they put on a new theme.
So this year's theme, of course, Fiddle Legends, is just a very humble, respectful honoring of who came before and what they did, and kind of a thank you for those great fiddlers for kind of setting the path and paving the way for us to follow.
Scott started to play the fiddle at a young age with help from his father.
When you first start off classical instrument, it doesn't matter violin or piano, you scales and studies, exercises, etudes. It's kind of boring for a 4 or 5 year old. So my dad would teach us fiddle tunes, a jig or a reel or a two-step, something fun. And that was our incentive to keep practicing.
One of the younger members of the band is their bass player, who joined the group over 3 years ago at age 14.
My brother and I, when we were born, when we were about 2 or 3 years old, she got us step dancing right away, and she also wanted to put us into fiddle music, and there's a huge circuit of step dancing and fiddle contests in Ontario.
Most of their shows attract a more senior audience, but they enjoy bringing a younger spin to the diminishing genre of music.
I think that's where a lot of the interest comes from. I think that's also why you don't see a whole slew of young people come out to our shows, is that it's just not something that's really well known anymore. The fiddle music and step dancing is kind of unfortunately a dying genre of music, but it's still interesting, and I think that's the interest comes from the seniors because they grew up with it, and that's why they like to. It kind of brings them back to their childhood when they get to hear, especially young folks doing it.
Emmett joins us for our first look at sports. And Emmett, Bobcats offseason continues to roll on.
The continuing storyline is how many players they actually have to fill roster spots for, and they're hoping this weekend goes a long way to filling that. The Lloydminster Bobcats have brought in nearly 90 of the West's top prospects this weekend, hoping to find the talent to replace 10 roster positions this fall.
Players from Vancouver to Manitoba are at the Service Sports Centre all weekend, playing a series of scrimmages under the watchful eye of the Bobcats scouting staff.
I want to know how these guys can perform in game play. We're beyond the spring camp now, we're into the prospect camp, and we really want to start taking the cream of the crop out of here.
Parent added Southern scout Barry Sawchuk to his staff this week. With the personnel coming together, he's hoping the team will fall into place quickly. This weekend, he's using veteran Cats as a benchmark.
Yeah, we wanted to put a couple vets in there just to kind of set the bar and see where some of the guys are coming in, and the guys coming in have really exceeded my expectations.
It's no secret the team needs a variety of players to complete the team. The returning Cats like what they see from this crop.
There's a couple guys really stand out, and I thought they're phenomenal, and I think they can jump into the lineup for next year easily.
Yeah, I think it's looking quite a bit better. A lot more different guys are coming in, better guys, so it's looking good.
Two of the open forward spots are big holes to fill. 3-year veteran and Lloydminster native Jeff Lorenz, as well as 2012 AJHL MVP finalist Kyle Harris, both graduated this year, but both will be continuing their hockey careers elsewhere. Lorenz has accepted a scholarship to play for the current ACAC champion Augustana Vikings. Harris has earned a scholarship with the Nate Ooks. The Cats now have 9 players from last year's team committed to post-secondary hockey programs. The Lloydminster Endeavour Machining men's Reapers rugby team have started the season on a high note. The men came out on top of a back-and-forth game Thursday night with a 40-33 win over the Saskatoon Badgers. The Reapers have a week off from the league schedule before heading to Saskatoon again. This weekend they are trying to keep their legs going by playing in the 44th annual Edmonton Rugby Fest. The Reapers are guaranteed 5 games and playoffs in the 12-team tournament. We'll have score updates for you tomorrow on Newcap Sports. And that's your first look at sports. Stay tuned for more news and weather after the break.